What's up, YouTube? Welcome to another episode of the Unedited Vlogs. Tonight, I think I'm going to record more of a debrief for myself. I used to do this in the past. I had a podcast, actually. What did I call it? The Martial Arts Thoughtcast. And I only did it for like 5 minutes a night. I would put the phone on, record myself during the drive home on the stuff that happened. And then for some reason, I fell off. I had a few students that really enjoyed listening to that, and for some reason I wanted to get into the whole curated content, ultra polished research, citing resources and all that, and man, is that a lot of work. But the things that happen in the academy is so abundant, and I can talk about a whole bunch of them. I figured I'd just pick it up again in this unedited vlog format. Tonight, there was a range of energies that stuck out. And I guess that would be the topic. Tonight's topic or debrief would be around how you opt in to training. There are people who train because they are made to, and then there are people who train because they want to, and there are people who train because of some other reason that fits in between. Either case, whatever your reasons might be, the opting in actually makes the training progressive. If you are indifferent, there's going to always be a block. My instructor or my mentor, he used to say, you give a good student a good instructor, they will excel. You give a good student a bad instructor, they will excel. So the message there is about how you approach your training. I mean, discounted that, you have really great training partners, or the teacher has a systematic way of delivering curriculum, strategy, capability, and skill, whatever those things are. Yeah, there are elements inside of that. But the prime element, the most essential one, is how you want to train. The want itself, wanting it in the first place. Because if you don't want it, it doesn't really matter. I mean, I can tell you all the health benefits, the self-defense benefits, the fitness benefits, the character building and all that. But if you don't have a belief system inside of it to want it for yourself, it doesn't really matter how valuable training might be. Now, when you come in to train, what is your why becomes a question from me to you, whether you're a kid or whether you're in our senior years. I'm turning 49 this year. And my why seems to change, but there always is a significant one. Like for me, I started training because I got beat up. I was in the hospital for 2 weeks with a collapsed lung. And when I went into the military, it was all delayed entry program. All that stuff affected me. And then they had its cascading effects where I eventually came home. And the thing that I really wanted to do was get healthy again. Revisit that time that I got beat up in the hospital. I needed its skill. I'm just going to go ahead and get it today. That was my original why. And then the second why that came up was, being a functional person, not just for myself, but for my kids. Because I had 3 little kids at the time, ranging from the ages 4, 5, 6, 7, like that. I have 3 kids. And I wanted to be sure that I was a good person for them at the end of the night, with energy that is expressed properly. And then as they get older, my why turned into more like, I got to lead the way. I got to do this thing, and I'm going to share it with my kids, potentially share with them how to have discipline and how to approach life, because there are challenges. And then now I'm passing on what the martial arts has given to me. So the why is a very important thing. If your why to come in is, let's say, competition, that's a finite thing. Right? Like, as soon as you win a medal, and then you got a check in the box that you did it, there's some people that would just be satisfied with that single check in the box, and then they would move on. Yeah, you could do that. I've met plenty of people that did that. They trained, they got their wins, or they got their experiences in there, and then they stopped. But when I look back on their first reason to start, their why changed in such a way that was misaligned with their values. So if your value is more in alignment with what kind of person you are, you'll always pull something from training that leads you in that direction. You could be training in a recreational class with the whole purpose of trying to be a world champion, and you could still excel. Because you have to approach it in that manner. Do we need the hard room? Yeah, sure. We need to have the hard room. Could you potentially use the room that you currently are in to reach that level? You sure can. Right? Like, I'm a black belt in jiu-jitsu, and a lot of my students are, junior ranking to me, and I would still train in such a way that I would be a formidable opponent. I mean, last year I was ranging from my all the different podium degrees from degrees, not degrees, but the places. Right? Like, hit my third places, my second places. I don't think I scored any first places last year. But my training for competition, it's not really about the wins anymore. It's about like really wanting the challenge. I hope that makes sense with a lot of the energy and how you want to opt in. And really, I want to say to you is that don't mix up what the other energies might be doing. And we will honor them and respect them and even admire them along the way. Line up where you feel that your values line up. Approach your training fully opted in and not being indifferent. If you're having trouble trying to define it, because clarity, I think, is really important. That's what we're talking about, right? The clarity of this why. Ask some questions. If you're my student watching this video, ask me some questions to get a clarity. Some clarification on something that you're having a hard time putting into words and leveraging experience to help you come up with those words. Similar to like speaking with ChatGPT, you type in something and all of a sudden you read what it says and you're like, oh, that's what I've been thinking and feeling all this time. Now I have words for it. I feel like if you can connect to those, it makes training and your directions not just more clear, but like and you got some sort of verification through those words, through that clarity. And you can continue training in the directions that you have a lot of value for. We're approaching now about 8 minutes, about 7.5 minutes right now. But yeah, that's tonight's topic. Hope you got some value out of it. Let me know what you got. Put it in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.